Hey guys, good morning. Welcome. I'm coming to you today from Fort Worth in Texas at West Hamilton. We all know West Hamilton, those of you who are in our church and other churches. So I'm spending the day with him, and I've got to get a couple of devotionals done before I get to come home again. But welcome. It's good to be with you. I love this church, love this pastor, great staff here. It's lovely to see Jen Jelani again. And these are awesome people, man. We're talking about the Beatitudes. We're talking about blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. So you want to be a child of God, then this is going to be one of the characteristics of what you will become. You'll become a peacemaker. Now, this peacemaking thing begins with you having peace. You can't give to somebody something that you don't have. So if you don't have peace with God, then you have nothing to give to the people around you. So peace with God is something we spent a couple of days talking about. God's desire for peace, God's passion for peace, God's person of peace in Jesus. But today I want to take this and make it more personal to say peace with God is absolutely critical in our lives before we even begin to think about giving it away. Peace with God comes from a couple of very simple words. Very simply, when I declare, thy will be done. That's a first step towards getting the peace of God. Many of us in our heads are thinking, man, I want to do things my way, and I got it all together, and I don't need God, and I'm a Christian, I want to be a believer, but really I don't have the peace of God because I don't abide by the very will of God. When we see people declaring to God and living out the principle of thy will be done, my will's not important anymore, your will needs to be done, we see peace being restored to us between us and God, and it's up here in our heads. We have a look at different examples, and you can see, you have a look at Jonah. Jonah was a miserable example of someone who didn't have peace. Why didn't Jonah have any peace? Because he wanted to go his own way. And he fought and he kicked and he screamed and he messed up. He went against the will of God. And God took him through the storms of life and into the ocean and getting swallowed by a fish. And, it was a crazy thing. If only Jonah had said, Lord, your will be done. If you want me to go to Nineveh, I'll go to Nineveh. If you don't want me to go to Nineveh, I won't go to Nineveh. Lord, your will be done. Because you do know that there's only one will out there that really counts. And we all know whose will that is. But the peace that transcends all understanding, that's a beautiful biblical phrase. The peace that passes all understanding and transcends everything that life can give to you is a peace that only God can give. And it comes when we declare, thy will be done, Lord, not mine. So we look at these examples in Scripture. We see so many other beautiful examples of people who had this peace with God. I think of another example would have to be Moses. Moses was not at peace with God. He left Egypt. He longed for Egypt. All the privileges of Egypt taken from him. He ends up in a wilderness, and he's angry. He's miserable. And if he knew anything, if there was a God in those days as he perceived him to be, he was really angry with him. But at the burning bush, everything changed. Moses was confronted by the wonder of God's love. He was confronted by the fact that God still had a plan for his life. He had written himself off. But now all of a sudden we see Moses leaving the burning bush, having not just a passion restored or a purpose restored, but having his peace with God restored. The war with God is a war that takes place in our head, and it revolves around those few words, thy will be done. Now people, listen carefully. Every one of you is going through issues, I'm sure. If you're not going through them, you will be. And when we're able to look at the issues around us and the challenges that we face through different eyes, or maybe a different viewpoint, declaring, God, your will is more important than mine, watch. Just watch what happens when peace is restored. We make life so complicated. Everybody's looking for peace, and they look in the dumbest of places to find it. Some things will offer temporary peace, but nothing gives to you the peace that only God can give. I really hope if you're at war with God over circumstances, over disappointments and disillusionments, if you're at war with him over things that you so want and you can't get, man, try this. Thy will be done is the cure. I hope you find that to be true. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you again later. Bye-bye.